the two goals that I really want to work on for your messaging, the two things that I think are very important when you're trying to message her, is the first thing is we want to show that you're actively listening and you're actively engaged with who she is. If she feels like the only reason you're asking her out is because you're physically attracted to her, that's not satisfying for her. Like, I'm sure you've been told this before, and I don't need to labor this point. So we always want to come from that mindset of being that guy who is the buyer and it isn't the seller. That means that when you're going into those interactions, instead of thinking she's attractive, how do I get her to like me? How do I get on a date with her? How do I say stuff that she wants to talk about? Instead, you have to flip that on its head and you have to think, right, I am attracted to her. However, unless she shows something interesting to me in this conversation or something that I value or something that I like, I'm not going to make a huge effort here to move this forwards. That is coming from what they would call as a very abundance mindset. And I know that can feel hard when you feel like actually you haven't got into a good messaging exchange with a woman, or you feel constantly frustrated that you are making an effort and it's not being reciprocated. So I understand this is a bit idealistic, but I just want to be open about what I think is the place you want to eventually end up in terms of your mindset. You eventually want to end up in a mindset where you're not just looking for attraction, you're looking for attraction plus she has to connect and invest in the conversation. Because maybe you can tell me this, but if she doesn't invest anything in the conversation, if she doesn't contribute, if she doesn't say anything original, if she doesn't make any effort at all in the conversation, it's going to be very hard for you to create a sincere reason why you should exchange phone numbers. It will come across like you just want something, and that will never be effective. For a woman, I often think about what is romantic for a woman and what's a big fantasy for women. And I always go back to that idea of a little bit Cinderella here, of that prince walking into the ballroom and being like, you. So a woman wants to feel chosen, not just because of her looks, but because of who she is and how she's expressed herself. If you think about a man who has a huge amount of choice of women, whether that's Leonardo DiCaprio, those looking a bit like Jack Nicholson now, I think, or like maybe Prince Harry in his bachelor days, you know, someone who's got loads of choice. For him to choose a woman is a really big deal because he could go out with any woman. So if he's chosen that woman, she must be doing something really, really special and really great. And that is the feeling that you want her to have. That's what will make an interaction feel exciting to her is, wow, this guy is not, he was not that into me to start with. He was just above neutral. But now as we're interacting and as I'm making an effort, he's becoming more and more attracted to me. And that's the reason he asked me out. Now, I can see what you're thinking, or I can hear it, which is, this all sounds nice, Hayley, but if she's not really saying anything interesting and I'm not really getting much of a response, what do I do? And just, you have to trust me on this one. I just had a good session talking to a bunch of women here where I was quite emphatic about them making more effort and being more creative and introducing that to their messages. So I do hear you. However, what we're going to look at today is how you can help yourself in this process, which is how you can find an original detail from their profile and know what's kind of the best thing to comment on in order to give the interaction the best chance of being more exciting and more engaging. So I call this the bridge point. So we're going to look at what's the best thing and what she's said or done or looks like that you can comment on and you can twist into a more original opening message. So for the guys there who want a bit of help with their opening messages, hopefully this will help. The second thing, which is a bit easier to explain, that's important, is original phrasing. That means not only do you want to pick a good detail to comment on, you also want to phrase what you say, so phrase that message in a way that's interesting and original. So if you start a message, hey Alice, how's your weekend going? It's like you've already lost your audience, like they've already switched off, because the opening message is so similar to what so many other men are saying. You've lost almost your first opportunity you've lost your first opportunity there to establish how you're different and interesting. So this session, we're going to work on both you getting better at cultivating your leverage point, get better at finding your original details, and then we're also going to get better at you creating phrasing that's interesting. I can't, unfortunately, you may still find that a lot of women initially write slightly lazy or boring responses. However, this is for you to feel like, you know what, I've actually done my part here. I've tried, I've done my bit to bring some interest in something creative and exciting to this messaging. And if she's not participating, I'm not going to take that as a reflection on me. I'm probably going to assume that she's not that invested in the dating process as a whole. So this is all about making your messages more unique, trying what you can do your side, and also having more fun with the process. So as I explained, leverage point is really when you see her pictures or you see her bio, even if it's quite short, how do you choose the thing to comment on, which is going to give you the best opportunity to stand out from the other guys, create an interesting kind of conversation, and also kind of get a part of her personality.